Chapter 10 The Dot. Returning to the origin beneath story. Beneath every memory, every role, and every story you tell about yourself, there is a quieter place. It does not need your name, your history, or your future. In the ghost movement, this is called the dot, the point of origin that remains even when everything else changes. The dot is not something you create, earn, or reach through effort. It is already here, present in every breath and every pause. You may have touched it without knowing, in moments when thought falls silent and you simply feel alive, when you are neither explaining nor defending yourself, when you are simply here without agenda. It can appear in stillness, but it is not bound to quiet. You might meet it while washing dishes, walking a well-worn path, or holding someone's hand. It can arrive in a train carriage full of voices, in the hum of a late-night kitchen, or during a moment of unexpected laughter. The dot does not ask for perfect conditions. It is not reserved for those who are calm or free from trouble. It is the steady presence that moves with you, whatever is happening around you. Many mistake the dot for an idea of perfection or purity, imagining that reaching it means becoming untouched by the world. In truth, the dot does not remove your experiences or erase your history. It is simply the place beneath them, a ground that holds steady whether you are joyful, carrying loss, angry, or uncertain. The dot is the simplest way to describe a truth known in many traditions and recognized in personal experience. Beneath the movement, thought, and feeling of life, there is a still ground. It does not shift when circumstances change, and it does not vanish when you forget it. It can be hidden beneath the noise of daily life or the identities you carry, yet it is never absent. In the ghost movement, the dot is not mystical in the sense of being separate from everyday living. It is practical, woven into the most ordinary of moments. It can be recognized without ritual or special preparation because it is not external to you. It is not an achievement, a state to enter, or a prize to win. It is your natural baseline, the part of you that existed before your first memory and will remain after your last. Most people live far from this awareness. The stories they tell about themselves, successes, failures, regrets, and hopes become the lens through which they see the world. These stories have meaning, but they are not the whole of who you are. When they are mistaken for the entire truth, life can shrink into a constant attempt to protect or improve the story, leaving little space to simply be. The dot offers another way. It is the recognition that you can be fully here without being limited to any single role or narrative. This does not mean denying your history or neglecting your responsibilities. It means holding them on a deeper foundation, one that remains steady even when the surface of life is unsettled. Returning to the dot can change how you meet challenges. Instead of reacting only from habit, fear, or urgency, you can pause in that still ground and let your response come from somewhere quieter. It can also change how you meet joy, allowing you to welcome it without trying to trap it and without the fear of its loss. In earlier chapters, we explored light and shadow, the shifting forms of life. The dot is neither light nor shadow. It is the surface they fall upon, the steady ground beneath every change. The dot is not a thought, but a lived presence. Each time you meet it, it leaves a trace in your body, senses, and awareness, making it easier to return. In the body, this can feel like less tension even during difficulty. Your shoulders may drop without conscious effort. Your hands may soften. Your spine might lengthen as if remembering its original balance. It can feel like being more fully inside yourself without adjusting or correcting anything. In the breath, the dot feels like ease. Inhale and exhale meet without the push of urgency or the strain of holding on. This can happen in a quiet room or in the middle of a busy street, during conversation, or while drifting into sleep. In the senses, the dot opens you naturally. Colours seem grounded, sounds less intrusive, touch more direct. You are not analysing what you notice, you are simply receiving it. It can feel as though the distance between you and the world has narrowed. The dot does not ask you to stop feeling. It can hold loss, joy, anger, and tenderness without rejecting any of them. Emotions in the dot move through you rather than lodging in place. You may still cry, laugh, or ache, but there is a sense that you are larger than the feeling itself. In daily life, the dot can be present while stirring soup, folding laundry, queuing for a bus, or locking the front door. It is not about the action itself, but the quality of attention you give to it. You are not rushing to the next moment or replaying the last one. You are simply here. Each return to the dot reinforces the possibility of returning again, until it becomes less a special event and more a natural rhythm in your way of living. The dot does not remove you from life. It roots you more deeply within it. It is not a distant state to reach, but a presence you can meet again and again, wherever you are. Recognizing it in the middle of movement, noise, or strong feeling is part of its reality. Stillness is not its only doorway. A boiling kettle, a pause before sending a message, or the act of tying your shoes can all be openings. Sensation can also act as a reminder. The feel of your feet on the ground, your hand resting on your chest, or the sound of your own breath. Ordinary routines become invitations to return. Brushing your teeth, walking to the corner shop, buttoning a shirt. You will not remain in contact with the dot all day, and that is never the point. Even the recognition that you have drifted away is part of the return. Turning the dot into a target only increases distance. It is closer to remembering than striving. Let it live alongside your other experiences, in conversation, in frustration, in problem solving. The steadiness it brings often speaks without words, quietly shaping the tone of your presence. The dot is a reminder that you are more than the events that have shaped you and more than the roles you inhabit. It is the quiet origin where you are simply here, not as an idea, but as a living presence. To return to it, even for a breath, is to remember that life is not only about what happens to you, but also about the ground from which you meet it. This presence does not erase your past or neglect your future. It allows you to see them as patterns drawn on a deeper canvas. From the dot, you can hold joy and loss without being consumed by either, meet change without grasping, and rest without retreat. You become less concerned with controlling every outcome and more at ease with being as you are. When you live from the dot, life becomes less about fixing and more about meeting what is real. The world may not shift, yet your way of standing in it does. You move with a steadiness that does not require certainty and a trust that does not need constant proof. From here, we turn towards what can pull us from the dot, the unfinished. These are the words left unspoken, the work left undone, the losses without closure. The next chapter will explore how these incomplete threads remain with us, shaping our lives and how they can be lived with, even when no resolution is possible.